Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. Welcome back to Shelburne RV. As you can see, it's a nice, bright, beautiful morning. Look at here, short sleeve shirt. That's great. It's I'm glad to have that kind of weather around here. I'm not a cold weather guy. I would rather sweat than freeze. So to get the short sleeves on is a great day for me. So we're back here on a Monday morning. I want to take you and show you a couple things. I got this big Keystone avalanche that came in Friday. I didn't really have a chance to touch on it. We were kind of busy, but let me show you what's going on with this avalanche. Yeah, that thing had a fire, and it looks like the outdoor 50 amp twist lock plug went nuclear and started burning everything up. Now the fire department came out and got in there and actually poked holes in the floor. So not only has that got a problem, but now you got a bathroom with a hole in the floor. So the whole bathroom, this thing's a mess. Well, while I was in there walking around this morning, I noticed that there was water all over the floor. Well, let me show you what the deal there is. Look at that. You know, we talk about slide out toppers, and of course, this one here, the insurance company thought it was going to get totaled out, so they had it already hauled off to the auction house, and then decided, oh no, it's worth too much money. Let's try to fix it. Well, then it came back to us via wrecker, and I went to move it, and controller's missing. Well, then we got to looking some more, and the propane tanks are missing, the batteries are missing, and they got into the whole front end of this thing with something. So as you can imagine, she's not happy. So got to deal with that and talk to the insurance company about what's going on there. But got a Winnebago basement air in a Journey that came in also Friday. Mr. Lewis will be up there working on that this morning. So got a few things going on. We're going to go up here and touch on a few things. So welcome back. Let's get going. All right, so the first thing we're going to get going on this morning is I've got a Thor Tuscany that's in here that has got air conditioner problems. Now it does have 3 air conditioners run by a single thermostat. So we got in here and did some diag. Let me show you what's going on here. All right, so I'm up on the roof of this Tuscany. Now here's the air conditioner we got tore out, and you can see there's 3 more behind this. So what we have determined is this Jbox. Compressor is coming on, but we have no high fan. Now I tried it in low fan mode also, and we got no low fan. So I came up here with my I've got a tester I can plug straight into the air conditioner, and I can run the air conditioner to make sure everything's working. The air conditioner does work correctly. So we retested one more time, and we've got no output on the high or low fan wires when it's called for one or the other. If we unplug the fan wire, like let's say we got it running in high, if we unplug the black wire, the compressor quits. So it's seeing some milliamp voltage through the board, but it's not operating because it's not getting that amp draw. It's not seeing the amp draw. So the relay has got a problem. Okay, so that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is Coleman's supplier no longer sells this. So you can't get this Jbox. So what's the solution? Number 1 is we either take this off and I send it out to my friends at Dinosaur and they try to fix it. Or 2, the only option Coleman has for this right now is you have to replace the thermostat with the new updated thermostat along with all 3 Jboxes. Now, the problem is on the new wiring setup that they have for this is the new thermostat setup actually uses 1 extra wire. Well, we only got so many wires that run here to operate all this. So what we've got to do is steal the B negative wire, which is typically the 12 volt ground, and we've got to repurpose that wire for one of the signal wires. Doing that, you got to take the B negative, it would normally hook to the Jbox, and tie it in with the 120 volt neutral to get a coach ground. So a little bit of a challenge to do that, but that's the only option they have. This is no longer available, and the only viable option is to update the whole thermostat and all the Jboxes. Now, the bad part is none of my suppliers have this in stock, and it's 8 to 10 weeks to even get this part in, because I can't buy these kind of parts. I can't buy directly from Excel, so they have to order it and they won't drop ship to me. So a little bit of a challenge, you know, trying to get this customer finished up, because obviously that's the only problem. Now, option 3 is we run a whole new thermostat. We put another Jbox along with a second thermostat in the coach, but then you got to run a wire to communicate, and it's just, you know, it just turns into a mess. So this one here actually has an aftermarket warranty through Extra Ride, so I'm going to actually call them and see what we can get done on that, but kind of showing you guys what the challenge is on this big Tuscany. Mr. Lewis is back here on this Airstream. Now, we have been in here cutting, and we took us probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half, trying to get that just perfect. But this matches everything he's got going on in here now, which is nice, because you don't want to cut that. You saw how much trouble we had with that in the last videos, so you don't want to cut that too many times and have to order a whole nother one. But he's got everything in there. We've got that we had to put a filler piece in right there because it was sinking back, and then he's got that plate in there for the faucets and all that. But this is in, and he's got all the plumbing now connected from all the way back here all the way up there. So the plumbing for the kitchen along with the shower is now installed, and we've already pre-fit that, so it matches that real nice. And then now we're just working on getting this to work out. So heading in the right direction and just taking a little bit of time. So Cousin Gary's been working on a Imagine by Grand Design that has had refrigerator problems, not cooling. Well, that's one of the problems. We've talked about this in the past. You can't do this. And of course, the medic says that doesn't matter, but I'm telling you it does. So we've now got the new Pines, or the rebuilt Pines unit in here. 5-year warranty on this, where if we did an OEM of that, it would only be 2 years, 24 months versus 5 years. So I'm obviously going to sell the better warranted one. So they've got that one all in, and then they had that's a Dometic. They had a Norcold that came in. Gentleman wanted us to, he just brought us a refrigerator. And so they've got the Pines rebuilt unit on this one. So this one's rebuilt, and it's in the testing mode, and it'll be ready to go back home. Well, we got this Wilderness bumper pull camper right here that they're putting 2 cable slides in. It had the BAL cable set up, and had 2 cables that were broke in it, so they're in there changing that as we speak. Now, this big Thor Tuscany you saw us working on, we've actually got it all done. It's they just have to do a little bit of washing on it, and it's going to be ready to go back out to the customer. It had remember it had that bad Jbox and bad fan motor. Now, I want to take you in here and show you this torque real quick. This one here's got a quote we got to look at, and I'm going to show you what's going on with that. Okay, so the customer brought this one in and had stated that they had some soft floor issue going on in here. Now, you can see where this one's underneath this bench right here. Look how bad that is. So this has been worked on already once before, and they noticed it because of that. But that is so bad. So I've got to come up with a solution to fix that. But yeah, this was already repaired once at the big box store, and you can see they did a heck of a good job on that one. The other project we have here is a horse trailer that came in with a bad gas valve on this hot water heater. Now, this is old Atwood. Remember, Atwood's been bought out by Dometic. These are out of stock. They're gone. Nobody's doing that. She actually brought this old one up here to see if we could use this gas valve. That one's also bad. So the best solution here is to put the brand new Suburban SAW6D, or actually it'll be a SAW6D. So that's Suburban Atwood water heater, 6 gallon. D is direct spark. Since this one doesn't have an electric heating element, it'll just have a direct spark. Now the beauty about that is, where this one, if the flame blew it out or the wind blew it out or something happened, it would lose the pilot light. The Suburban has the igniter, so you just run a 12-volt wire to it, and then this one will actually automatically relight whenever it's ready for, or it's calling for hot water. So, and it fits right in. You don't have to modify nothing. It's the same size. You just reuse the old door. So we're gonna get that priced out to her because that's gonna be the best solution for this problem. All right, well, he's got this one all done. Got the new cables in there. Got everything adjusted. Now you can see how much of a pain those are. Now we didn't take the fascia off of this one because Dale was small enough he could get up in there. And so we've got everything crimped. We did have to cut the cables, but it is working. You can see all the extra parts that are down there. But it is good. We're getting ready to ship this one out as soon as we clean it. All right, so we got this little Bullet travel trailer that came in, and today evidently is BAL cable slide problems. Now, obviously this is a problem because see how, and you can see Mr. Cody is not a small guy, and this thing is buried up in here. So we definitely had to take the fascia off this one because there was obviously no way we were going to access it through there. So this one here, when he tries to run it out, it is so tight that it has actually stripped out the motor gearbox in there. So Cody at the moment is just trying to get a little tension off it because these things are like banjo tight right now, and they shouldn't be that tight. So Cody's working on doing that, and then we're gonna retest here in a minute. Well, last week in the video that you guys saw, you saw that we had a pretty tremendous busy week last week, and that was great for us here at the shop. But as you can see, this is it. Now all that stuff down there is a different story. That's all stuff that's completed, and you know, I gotta have it, and then when it's done, then oh well, it'll be a little bit. So you know, it's a cash flow business some days, and it sucks because you know that's all money waiting to be cashed out. But yet, you know, last week we had a ton going on, but this week just haven't had a lot coming in. So yeah, it's just kind of weird how things go that way sometimes. And you know, I've always equated it to like the business to like a roller coaster. You know, there's some weeks where you're up, there's some weeks where you're down, and you know, there's no rhyme or reason why it does what it does. I haven't quite figured it out. I guess maybe one day when I do figure it out, I guess I'll go play the lottery. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Some weeks of how up we are and how down we are. I don't know. Like I said. So been a little bit of a slow week. I've got quite a bit of stuff up there. We're trying to quote out some floors and trying to get some slide room problems with BAL cable slides. Trying to get some of this stuff, you know, quoted out to the customer, and it just takes a minute to get all that done. And then some of that stuff we're waiting on some parts. So it's just kind of interesting. I was talking to my financial guy at Edward Jones this week, and he's like, yeah, you know, we're kind of starting to see the beginnings of a little bit of a recession. You know, JP Morgan kind of says that we're going to see a little bit of a recession, and I'm like, see one? I mean, I'm in it. I'm seeing it right now. I mean, things are definitely not what they were this time last year, and you know, the second week of March for us typically is when it blows the doors out, and everybody's pulling campers out, everybody's heading on, everybody's busy, let's go, and it's not been that way this year. So, you know, starting to see, I think we're in it. So, you know, again, this is the stuff as a small business owner keeps you up all night long, because again, you don't want to lay people off, because if you do, they're gonna go find a job. You know, you got to try to keep them going. I mean, I was talking to one of my friends in the heating and air business, and you know, that's the challenge he had over the winter time, was he was literally paying people to sit around and do nothing. And as a, you know, small business owner, that's tough. You know, we've talked about that. The cash flow for this kind of stuff and trying to keep it all going is, you know, it's the real deal. I mean, there's a lot going on. So, you know, again, it's stuff that keeps you up all night long. But anyways, enough of my ramblings for this morning. It is Friday, so got a few things we got to get finished up for the weekend, and then we'll be back next week. So the boys are rolling in. Let's go take a look.
All right, man. I think it's plugged up.
So Lewis and Cody are working on this Winnebago Journey on this basement there. Now we got it up and running, and it would run for about maybe, what do you think, Lewis? 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
About 30 seconds, and it would shut down and start flashing 3 lights, pause, 3 lights, and pause. We did find that the indoor freeze sensor had a problem. So we may still have to pull it out to resolve that because you can't really get to it. But now they've been running it. Both compressors are within a amp of each other, so I'm happy with that. Mr. Dale's been working on this slide-in camper that's been blowed out on the back, and so it had to have a bunch of, it was all rotted out. The jack leg had come off and ripped it all out. Now, it'll never have a jack leg back on that. The customer is actually going to just put that in a pickup truck and use it as a camping place. So we've got that to a point where there ain't nothing else he's going to do that. So I'm just trying to get it sealed up where it don't leak, and he's good with that. Cousin Gary is over here on the forklift. We're actually pulling out a slide out of an XLR Hyperlight that had a bad floor. So they're actually, and it does have a Schwinn slide system. So they've got everything loose on that, and they're at the point of trying to get it out so we can get the floor resolved. Lewis has been working on the Airstream. Let me take you over here and show you it. So you can see we're laying the floor, and we've got our cutter for the LVP flooring in here. So he's working on getting the flooring down, and then see he's trying to get everything up underneath there. And I've actually got the cabinet, so we're kind of waiting right there to do that, but I've got the cabinet, the vanity that's going to go in right there. I'm working on getting it fitted out and cut. We're going to get it in there because once the vanity's down, we're going to put a screw in there to hold that wall in place. So I'm working on that at the moment. So we've got the vanity kind of dry fit in here. Now we haven't put that in yet. This wall is a little bit crooked because there's really nothing up here to really kind of support it. So you can see how much this is moving right here. So what we're going to do is once we get this secured, then we're going to shoot a screw, and I had to put some lumber in there, and that'll tie this wall together because we can shoot some screws into this framework. But that's kind of what we got going, kind of dry fitting it in there. And of course the toilet's going to be right there. But now that we've got that fitted, Lewis is going to keep on rolling with the flooring in here. Okay, so we're back on this journey, and Cody and Mr. Lewis do have the unit out. Now, we did come in here and determine that we do have an indoor fan motor that's bad. The capacitor was low. It was only reading like 6.4 UF. So we did replace it and retest. The motor is bad. Now, they've got the unit out, as you can see, but I want to show you what this coil looks like. Look at this coil right here. That sucker is nasty, and it has been nasty for a while. So there's a good possibility that with that being so nasty and the air not doing right through there, that helped burn the fan motor out. Now, we get this apart, we'll see how nasty the back of the fan motor is, but there's a good possibility that's what's caused that. We did determine also that we have a bad indoor freeze sensor that's bad. So we're going to tear it apart and change that also. So they're going to get this opened up now and get it all serviced and cleaned. Okay, so we're back here on this XLR. Now you see we got the floor out, and they've got it laying over here now. Now remember, several videos back, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We had a video called Rubber Floor. There's another one of those rubber floors. So rubber floors in a camper, that don't work out too well. So we're gonna go in here, of course basket weave, the wrong way to do this. So we're gonna go in here and get the new 1-inch plywood put back in here, and then the customer actually had put down this LVP. I'm not sure what we're going to do here just yet. We may, I don't know, we may try to save it. We may end up having to do something different there, but obviously the rubber floor don't work. All right, well, that's going to finish us up here this week at Shelburne RV. I appreciate everybody watching. A little slow this week. Hopefully it'll pick up next week, but thanks again for watching. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and remember what?
This video is Cousin Gary.
That's right. Take care.